The town of Red Creek in the late 1800s was a place where stories spread faster than the prairie fire. Everyone knew everything about every Neo, at least, they thought they did. But nothing could have prepared them for what happened when John Bear McAllister, the towering rancher who owned half the land west of the river, noticed something strange about the young woman who worked as his cook. Her name was Eliza, a settler girl who had come from the east with nothing but a tattered trunk and the promise of work. She kept to herself, always polite, always quiet, never speaking unless spoken to. The townsfolk pitied her at first, but soon they stopped asking questions. Life on the frontier didn't leave much room for softness. But John saw what others missed. One morning, as the golden sun rose over the cottonwoods, John walked into the kitchen to find Eliza rolling out dough. The sleeves of her dress slipped back, and for the first time, he saw the dark marks running along her arms, bruises, some old and faded, others fresh and raw. "Who did this to you?" His deep voice filled the room. Eliza froze, her hands trembling on the rolling pin. "It's nothing, sir. Just clumsiness." But John wasn't a fool. He had seen the look in her eyes, the way she flinched when certain men in town walked too close. And he knew the truth. That evening, John saddled his horse and rode straight into Red Creek. By the time he reached the saloon, whispers had already begun. Inside, leaning at the bar with a sneer, was Sheriff Tateo, the man supposed to keep peace but who was notorious for abusing his badge and his power. John's blood boiled. The saloon went quiet as John's massive frame darkened the doorway. He didn't waste words. He walked to the sheriff, lifted him by the collar with one hand, and growled, "You lay a hand on her again, and you'll answer to me." Before Tate could spit back, John's fist landed a blow so fierce the sheriff went crashing across the room, shattering a table. The silence that followed was deafening. Then, one by one, men began to stand not against John, but with him. For years, they had suffered Tate's cruelty in silence. John's stand broke the dam. By dawn, Red Creek had a new order. Tate was stripped of his star, run out of town, and John McAllister, whether he wanted the role or no, became the figure folks turned to for justice. And Eliza, for the first time in years, she walked through the market without lowering her gaze. She still bore scars, but now she carried something stronger, a dignity, and the knowledge that someone had finally stood for her. The whole town had been shocked, yes, but in that shock, they found courage.